so many millions of people every year suffer from cardiovascular diseases and deaths as well, premature deaths because of it. How do you think AI is going to solve that? Like, where's the intersection point? How does AI models or AI predictability or drug discovery helps that?
So I would say one of the issues that I've come across throughout the research that I'm carrying out is that a lot of the medical information and a lot of the journals, or a lot of the, I would say a lot of the findings and experiments, they kind of stop at statistical analysis. So they stop at medical statistics. And if a paper does go beyond statistics, and they might carry out some artificial intelligence or something simple like a logistic regression, for example, you can clearly see that, they haven't gone beyond, or I would say their implementation or their code hasn't been shared. And that is it's very limited. It's very limited. So now sometimes I listen to some of the professors at Glasgow University, and at this university, the professors are also working in hospitals at quite high positions. And a lot of the times when they say that, sometimes equipment may not be reliable, or some sort of measurements may not be reliable. And it's like my brain at the same time is thinking, well, you know what, if we were to use this method in AI, there's a potential to do this, because not only am I looking at the clinical problems, but I'm also looking at techniques, at novel techniques, to see how I can solve this. But so, for example, one of the techniques would be something called network analysis. So if you imagine a network, that would connect in like pathways. So this example would be used for disease. So one area of research that I'm looking at right now is called multimorbidity. And this is very common, and it's actually rising. So multimorbidity is when a patient has 2 or more chronic conditions. So let's say a patient will have hypertension, and then they'll be frail, or they'll have depression, and then they'll have heart failure. So patients are developing multiple conditions, and then, the medical field is clinicians are focused on tackling one disease at a time in a patient. And so sometimes the other conditions can go ignored or even undiagnosed. So again, when we're looking at machines that can do a lot more work than a human, there are a few techniques that I've explored that has the ability to pick out and create relationships and look at different factors that can uncover relationships between different pathways in diseases and in conditions as well.